Summing up. A. The noble gases and the octet rule. Atoms are joined by chemical bonds to form structures with lower energy than the individual atoms. The electrons in the outer level of an atom are called the valence electrons, or the bonding electrons, and only these participate in bonding. Octet rule. An atom is very stable when it has 8 electrons in the valence level. Noble gases have 8 electrons in the valence layer and are therefore stable. Atoms tend to fill the outermost level, pooling, acquiring, or releasing electrons to form the most stable valence level electron configuration. B. The covalent bond. The covalent bond is responsible for the formation of molecules and occurs when two atoms share a pair of electrons. Valence is the number of electrons an element gains, loses, or shares when it binds with other atoms. The relationship between atoms and molecular structure can be represented by Lewis structure diagrams. The covalent bond may be simple if a single pair of electrons is shared, double if 2 pairs are shared, and triple if 3 pairs are shared. C. Electronegativity and bonding. A pure covalent bond occurs when 2 identical atoms combine by the covalent bond, single, double, or triple. When one of the atoms involved in the covalent bond is more electronegative than the other, it exerts a greater force on the bonding electrons. This type of bond is called polar covalent. D. The ionic bond. The ionic bond occurs when the difference in electronegativity between 2 atoms is greater than 1.9, when there is a net transfer of electrons from the less electronegative atom to the more electronegative atom. Due to the transfer of electrons, the 2 atoms become ions, positive and negative, which attract through the electrostatic interaction. E. Ionic compounds. Ionic compounds have a high melting point, are solid at room temperature, and are good conductors of electricity, both in the molten state and in solution. Almost all ionic compounds are soluble in water. F. The metallic bond. Metal atoms can share valence electrons among many nuclei. The metallic bond is due to the interaction between positive metal ions and the mobile electrons moving around them. Metallic properties such as gloss, thermal, and electric conductivity, malleability, and ductility are due to the mobility of the outer electrons. G. The periodic table and bonds between elements. Metals form metallic bonds with each other. Nonmetals form covalent bonds with each other. Metals and nonmetals combine through the ionic bond. The transition from pure covalent, polar covalent, and ionic is gradual and depends on the difference in electronegativity of the atoms involved in the bond. H. Valence bond theory. According to the valence bond theory, the covalent bond forms when the unfilled orbitals of 2 atoms give rise to a new orbit that allows atoms to share bonding electrons. This new orbit is called a molecular orbital. The sigma orbital is formed when the molecular orbital is oriented along the conjunction of the nuclei of 2 atoms, overlapping front, giving rise to the sigma bond. The lateral overlapping of the p orbitals of 2 atoms leads to the pi bond. Pi bonds are much weaker than sigma bonds.